Hello, my friends. In this episode, we're going to answer one of our most asked questions. How much does it cost to build a house or to buy a house in Todos Santos, Baja California Sur? Let's find out the answer together. Hi, friends. In this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures, we're going to be having a little conversation here for a few minutes with our friend Alvaro. And Alvaro, you're actually from, I think, California?
I was raised in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, so
Yes.
raised in California, relocated here how many years ago?
Came here in the winter of 1999.
So last millennia.
The last 24 or 5 years.
You're an old man.
Yeah, I'm an old man now. I'm over 60, so I'm an old man now.
Aren't we all, right?
Who lives with 3 cats.
And in fact, Alvaro has helped us out. I've told you before, the internet is kind of slow here, and he's got high-speed internet at his house, and we've gone there, and he's graciously allowed us to upload some videos and things like that. Well, in this episode, Alvaro works for Coldwell Banker. He's an agent here. And in fact, if you are traveling or wanting to relocate to Todos Santos or to this area, this is the man. And I'll put his contact information in the description section down below. This is the man you want to talk to. He can help you with whether it's buying vacant property to build your home on, and he can connect you with local builders, or if you want to find that turnkey job, that house that's already ready to move into, he can help you with that as well. One question, that comes to my mind is that, we've been up in Ensenada for several months, and we've been in La Paz, and last year we spent most of the year on the mainland.
Yes.
And the Baja Peninsula is a lot more expensive than like the mainland. And I'm even taking into consideration Puerto Vallarta and San Miguel de Allende. Why is that?
Well, that's a good question. It's hard to make sense of the values, but I think, first of all, the close proximity to the USA. We're a short flight from Los Angeles, 2.5 hours, 3 hours from San Francisco, Pacific Northwest. You can get here in 3 hours. And Colorado, Utah, Wisconsin, Texas are our feeder markets. So the flight is a short flight, and you arrive into an international airport, and an hour and a half later, you're at your destination. Todos Santos is literally an oasis that's in the middle of the desert. You're driving here either from La Paz or Cabo San Lucas, and you're driving through desert, barren land, and then all of a sudden you come to Todos Santos, and if you come from the La Paz side, you'll see just a sea of palm trees. If you come from the Cabo side, it's a little funkier, but once you get into town, you'll see the palm orchard, and it's literally an oasis. We have our only source of water is rainwater, and so we rely on the hurricanes and the big tropical storms to bring us lots of water during the summer, which will last us through the winter. So we have water here. Cabo San Lucas, most of their water is from desal plants. La Paz is a mixture of municipal water, and I'm not exactly sure where their water source is, but at least Todos Santos, we have a aquifer that runs through the middle of the town under the palm orchard, and then it empties out into the La Poza Lagoon. So we have this beautiful lagoon that fills up with fresh water, and over time it overflows, and the water breaks through the lagoon, and then the whales come. The migrating whales come and feed from the plankton from the lagoon. So when we arrived in 2000, it was a seller's market. There was nothing in the inventory. There was hardly anything. So it took us 2 years to find our place.
2 years?
Yeah.
Looking for your home?
Yes. We rented a home for a year, and then we rented another home for 6 months. And then within those 6 months, we found our home, going back and forth into town. And I live on the west side of town near La Poza. That looks over the palm orchard that I'm just describing. So everything was more than we wanted to pay, but we at that time our home was on the market for $149, and it was a very modest house, 1-bedroom house. It was the smallest house that we've seen. We wanted a 2 or 4-bedroom house, so we each had our own bedroom. We also each had our own office, but it was just kind of generic construction. And then and we couldn't find anything we liked. And then we found this home, just commuting back and forth, and that's where we settled down. And the prices here have gone up because it was a seller's market, and then there was a lot of construction, and people took advantage of that seller's market, and then the housing boom came, where the whole thing, the bottom fell out in 2008. And then there was all this surplus of inventory that needed to be moved, and slowly the market started coming back up. Prices came down, and things leveled off. The median priced home, maybe in 2009, I would say would be $350,000 to $500,000. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath home on a 1/4-acre lot, with or without ocean views, with electricity, municipal electricity, water, and maybe telephone, at least have internet access. And but we've moved through all that inventory. It's all been sold. So now we're post quarantine, post COVID. Everything just like in the States, the market took off. It was like wildfire. People making offers sight unseen on land, on homes, and all of a sudden these 350 homes people were offering more than the asking price, and there were bidding wars, which we're not accustomed to here. It's just kind of a little slow pokey thing, and we'll have a few walk-ins and a few showings, and all of a sudden there's just this rush of demand because people wanted to move from the cities more into rural areas, and even people who've never been to Todos Santos were desperately looking for something, a piece of land, a home, and so the prices are, you can buy a condo in Los Cerritos for about $250,000, and you can buy one in town for around the same price, $250,000, 1-bedroom condo. I have a home I just listed in downtown. It's kind of in the commercial area. It's at $425 with a 1/4-acre lot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And I'm going to be listing a home called Casa Hibiscus, and that's it's about an 1/8 of an acre located in Las Brisas, where you're staying, I think. And it's a lovely home. It's quaint, it's charming, it's colorful, traditional Mexican. It's not the new modern homes, which are basically where you can find any place in LA or San Francisco, where it's a white house, everything is gray, the floors with gray Polito countertops.
HGTV.
Yeah, that. And now, I never would have thought this would happen, but now, as of last year, according to our quarterly annual report, the median priced home in Todos Santos is $1 million now.
Wait a minute. Back the trolley up here. The median house in Todos Santos, 1 million pesos or U.S. dollars?
Oh, dollars.
U.S. dollars.
Yeah, now.
Wow. Holy inflation, Batman.
Yeah. And that's as of our quarterly report, Q1. Q2 just came out. Sales are up about 17%. But the telling report will be Q3. See how the summer goes. This time of the year is when things start slowing down, because our selling season is like November through April, May. Easter. I would consider President's holiday weekend from the USA. That's like the height of the season, and that's when we get most of our offers. And then we spend the summer times closing on those properties. Pescadero and Cerritos and Todos Santos attracts a whole different person. People who don't mind having Mexican neighbors, people who don't mind hearing roosters in the morning, people who don't mind unpaved, dusty streets. And the pace here is much slower.
Yeah.
It's very slow. So you come here, and I recommend people to come here and come in for at least a long weekend, 3 to 5 days. 2 weeks would be ideal, because it takes about 2 weeks to really settle into the pace here, because it's quiet, it's slow. People say, what's there to do? And I said, nothing. That's my favorite thing to do, is nothing. Just sit and look at the birds, look at the oasis, feel the breezes, look at the palm trees, walk to the beach, walk home. Everything you need here, or you need in general, it's available here. Or you can order it on Amazon or Mercado Libre, and it'll arrive at your home or at your house, which is located on a street with no name. And that's the most popular address in Todos Santos, Calle Sin Nombre, a street with no name. But somehow the Apple Store could find me at my home and deliver my new phone or laptop or whatever. So the market is changing, it's shifting constantly. And
Well, I'm curious, you said that you just listed a house on La Brisas, and that's actually where we're staying, is out there, and you've seen some of the videos from that area. It's a dusty road, dirty road, but oh my gosh, when we pull out of our driveway and turn right, we're looking right at the Pacific Ocean in front of us. I mean, just gorgeous. And you're some distance away from it. I mean, you'd have to go out to Latunas Beach to actually be on the water, but I mean, you've got the view there. And from the casita that we're at, we can't see the water, but we go upstairs to a little deck, and from there, you can have your coffee and look out and see the water at night or watch the sunset. And you said that was a kind of a traditional house that was there. What did that one list for?
well, it's going to go on the market at $349.
$349.
Yeah.
And is this 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms?
It's a main house with a 1 bedroom, a bath, front yard, and a back patio, a little dining area, and then it has a separate detached garage with a upstairs studio loft with a half bath and an outdoor shower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more traditional Mexican. It's very colorful, has a colorful tile, and it might not be for everybody because a lot of people want more contemporary finishes, but it's definitely a good starter home for anybody. Some paint and some minor improvements, and you can have that house. And it's in a great location, and it's close to town. You can actually walk to town. It's near the Bomberos, on a little quiet side street. And if you're coming from the United States or Canada or North America, anywhere, or even from Europe, if you want to live in a place and be connected with the Pueblo, Las Brisas is a great neighborhood.
Okay, one thing that we talked about is, if someone is looking to relocate here, and it is an ideal location because if you need something big city-wise, you're an hour away from Cabo San Lucas, you're an hour away from La Paz, and yet you're in that place where you can breathe, where you don't have heavy traffic. One thing about, in the USA, and we lived in a very nice area, you'd still hear gunshots every once in a while. If not every day, you'd hear them every once in a while. Our time in Mexico last year and this year, and we've been all over, I've never heard a gunshot.
Yes.
I have never heard a gunshot. And we've never felt unsafe in any way. We love Mexico. But let's say someone is wanting to relocate here, and let's say that they are living in the mainland of Mexico, and so they're wanting something very simple, 1 or 2 bedroom, very traditional, And what is something that they can look at that's on the low end, that's a very traditional house, you know, one story, nothing elaborate whatsoever. This is just
Yeah.
baseline real estate of a house.
Well, an individual single-family home is one thing. So we're starting around 350.
Okay.
Okay, with about an eighth of an acre of land. This home that I just mentioned, Casa Hibiscus, I have a home in town listed for 425. Off, it's in the central, but off the historic area, and that's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with a quarter-acre lot. So in terms of there are apartments for sale now for about $70,000. They're one bedroom, 1-bath apartments, and there's some new condo complexes going up where you can buy a condo for about $175,000. So if your budget is between like 150 to 250, then you might want to consider a condo. And then if you're here full time, that will be your main residence, and if you're not, then you can rent it while you're gone. And then the prices, as you get closer to the ocean, the prices go up. You know,
Sure.
if you want to see the ocean or you want to be close to the ocean, the prices are just more. But right now, it seems like most of the inventory people are looking at, it's in the 500 to 800,000 range right now.
So that puts us, when we talk about now the middle of the road person, this is someone maybe that is immigrating from the USA or from Canada, and they're not Bill Gates, they're not Mark Zuckerberg, they're just looking for, for a house. Maybe they're retired and they need a couple of bedrooms, when the kids and grandkids come to visit. So that middle of the road is somewhere about a $750,000 to $800,000 US dollar.
I would say yes, right around there. Newer home, quality construction, turnkey, furnished, just ready. And then if you wanted to buy a lot, if you can find one that you like, that'll cost you around $100,000 maybe, and then about $140 per square foot. And
So building cost is about $140 US per square foot?
yes,
Okay.
and that's with simple finishes.
Right.
The Polito countertops, Polito floors, basically your white box with gray.
Your HGTV.
Yeah, your HGTV home. That could be, the home could be anything you want. But right now, the trend is to have these more contemporary homes. One, because it's what's in demand, and two, they're easier and less expensive to build. Because they're pretty generic homes, but each home is custom made. The homes here are built mostly with cement block, rebar, and foam panels. There's no aluminum structure. There's no wood siding because they'll just get blown away in a hurricane. So the homes have to be built specifically for this area, and they have to be solid and to withstand a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. And
Well, that brings up a question, and we're way off of our topic, but you're building a house here, and it has to be to Hurricane 4 or Cat 4 standards.
yes,
What kind of building inspection? I mean, you have a building inspections department, they come out and they check his construction, just like in the USA, or?
just like in the USA, you buy the lot, or you buy a home and you want to remodel it, or you want to build a home, then you come up with a design, and then we hire an architect. They come up with the renderings, and then we're working with a general contractor, and then they come up with the plans and the spreadsheet down to the dollar or the peso, and then you sign off on it, and it's usually a third down, the construction at the beginning, a third down once the main structure is up, and then another third, a little less than a third once the finishes go in, and then 10% at the final walkthrough.
All right, our final wish list thing here is, let's say, Mark Zuckerberg is wanting to have a 50th home, in Todos Santos. What is the big boy? What is the most expensive thing on the market that, not for land, because certainly, unless you just want to tear it down and build what you want, what's something real pricey that you could do here?
Well, I would have to say somewhere in the 5 million range.
Okay.
I mean, that's 3.5 to 5 million.
Okay.
There are homes on the market for that much, and some of them will be beachfront or close enough to beachfront. Will be large parcels of land, may include an acre of land,
Now, that $5 million house that is, beachfront or close to the beach, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, something like that?
it has like seven
Yeah,
bedrooms.
I'm amazed, man, because I'm just thinking like Virginia Beach, Virginia, where we're from, if you're not on the water, but you're in a community that's close to the ocean front, my gosh, for $5 million, 7 bedrooms, right at the water or near the water, that ain't bad.
Not bad at all, yeah, and there are places, new projects coming up. For example, one called Rancho Pescadero, which is a hotel and residences, and you can buy a residence there for $3 million. It's all inclusive and whatever you need. It's
Well, they get the checkbook.
Yeah. And Paradero Hotel also has, it's a gorgeous hotel. If you haven't been, it's worth a visit. And they're also selling residences between 9 and like 12 or 900,000 between 1.2, 1.4 for the penthouses. And we're having a lot more residences and projects coming into the area, building these grand places with a destination restaurant, and then they build these residences. But right now in Cerritos and certain places in Pescadero, you can find a affordable condo, even in Todos Santos downtown, for $250. And then everything is held in it's mostly cash, sales here. There is some financing. It's called cross-border financing. And we would need to pre-qualify clients, just like in the United States. We eat really well here. That's our main entertainment is food.
Well, the food here is, yeah.
Yeah, the food. Yeah. So the food, we have the freshest fish, farm-raised chickens and eggs and organic vegetables and whatever you can't find at the local markets. You kind of have to forage. You may not find everything in the same one markets. You kind of have to go to 3 or 4 different markets.
That kind of makes it fun.
Yeah. So you kind of have to forage around for what you want, and then for all your paper products and laundry detergent, whatever, then you go to Cabo, which is about a 40-minute drive on a 4-lane highway, and you can buy all your paper products and all your staples. And I go about once every 6 weeks.
Yeah. The gringos go down to Costco to get what they need from Costco, to get their Kirkland brand coffee.
Yeah,
That's big.
Yeah, and they're big things, 100 rolls of toilet paper,
Just in case there's another pandemic and you can't get it. One worry that I would have is, are we raising the prices up by gringos coming here and paying $300,000, $500,000, $1 million? Is it making it? One thought would be, are we pushing the locals out away from it? But then again, at the same point, a lot of it is vacant land that's not being used anyway. But with that mindset of it's not being used anyway, are we raising prices up where locals can't afford to live here?
Yes, that just yes in general. The rents have gone up. So if you're a national, you know, and you're paying around maybe $2,000 a month, which is a lot of money for rent. The home values have gone up, so it's hard for a national family who don't have that much capital to come here, but locally, luckily there is financing available for them from the local institutions. And this is a trend that's going on everywhere, you know, in San Francisco, where I grew up, you know, just the places are being gentrified and pushing out a lot of the people who've been renting, and now they have to move further out to find affordable rentals. So I would say the next trend and I read an article someplace on mexiconews.com where the next trend in Tijuana is affordable housing. To build homes, single family homes, 2-bedroom, 2 baths, on a small lot, maybe 200 to 300 square meter lot, and sell them between 90 and 120,000. And that's what's needed here right now, because all these hotels, luxury hotels that are opening up, they need to find staff. And that staff has to either live here or commute from Cabo or La Paz. So that's what's needed right now. And there's an opportunity to make a profit if you build a quality product and you're able to sell to people, mostly nationals who can buy a place, and even extranjeros, which are foreigners, and buy a small, modest place. And right now, for example, the apartments that I mentioned, which are going for about $70,000 right now, and they're located just on the way out of town, out of La Paz side. So I think there's something here for everyone, and it just takes time to come here and spend a little time. You know, I like to say to people, spend a little time, let a little dust settle on your shoes, and it takes time to sift through the layers. There's a lot of layers here to sift through, and network and get to know people and talk to your neighbor, or at the internet cafe, or at a restaurant, or just someone you run into, like we ran into each other, and then you get to talking, and then you start kind of sifting through and meeting locals who've been here for a long time, and who've been here almost as long as I have. When I moved here in 2000, we moved here in 2000 and moved into our home in 2022. And the one thing I want to mention, because it's important to know that all us foreigners, including myself, we hold title in what is called the fideicomiso, which is like a living trust in the United States. And it's a real safe mechanism to own property in Mexico, because
we're within 50 miles, I think, of the
restricted zone.
Right.
Yes. But when my dad bought Mexico in San Felipe many years ago, he had to have a Mexican partner, and they had to have 51%, and he had 49%. And that went on for a while, but so many people got swindled out of their money or lost their money. So they created this fideicomiso process, and it's a really safe mechanism to own property. One, because the title is held with one of the local banks, and then it states who's the main beneficiary. So it would be Jean and Renee, and then in that trust it would say who your substitute beneficiaries are, which can be any children, friends, family, whoever you designate, except for your dog, Jenny. And you don't have to go through Mexican probate. So that in itself, closing costs they're about 6 to 7% of the asking price, or the closing price. accept the price actually. But the closing costs are paid up front, and then you have an annual trust payment every year. It's about $600. Goes to the bank for the maintenance of the trust, and then your property taxes will be $500 to $600 a year, and that's it.
Property taxes, $500 or $600 a year.
A year.
Wow,
And that's a little high, I think.
Yeah,
But the more expensive the home, the more property
high
tax
for
you
here,
pay.
not high for USA prices, right?
Right. So up front, your closing costs will be a little high, but once you settle in and move into your home and get settled and slowly furnish it, and then you can apply to become a permanent resident or a non-permanent resident. Either way, non-permanent residency is easier to qualify, but you have to renew every year. And then for being a permanent resident, it's a little bit more involved, takes a little more time. There's more requirements. They require you to have a certain amount of money in savings, and but you don't have to renew every year.
Wow.
And then so once you've got your residency, then you can do various things like rent out your home, for example, on Airbnb. And then you can apply for a tax ID number, and then you would claim that money here in Mexico, and then you won't be double taxed in the USA or in Canada. So it's important for people to know that if you're going to buy a home in Mexico, you need to establish residency, either non-permanent or permanent, and that'll help you when you go to sell in the future, or transferring utilities into your name. And if you want to rent while you're not here, or if you have a little casita that you would like to rent legally, then you would apply for these documents. But it's just a matter of time, and doesn't cost that much, but I do recommend hiring someone who can facilitate the process.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what
Knows
we
what
did.
they're doing.
Yeah, that's what we did, and I'm glad we did it. And we have everything, all the services we need are here in town: legal, construction, architecture, just environmental impact. There's just a lot of resources available here, and once you're here for a while. And how long have you been here now?
We've been here about 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Yeah, that's a good chunk amount of time. And are you like still searching? It's like what's the plan?
Yeah, there's a Bono U2 song, where it says,
Yeah.
"I still haven't found what I'm looking for."
Uh-huh.
That's us. We don't
Okay.
know what we're looking for yet.
Yeah.
But hey, we're going to leave you on that one, folks. If you are wanting to relocate to paradise, it's here. It's in Todos Santos. It's on the Baja Peninsula in Baja California Sur. An hour, 45 minutes to an hour away from the hustle and bustle and all of Cabo San Lucas. An hour away from La Paz. Quaint town that has it all.
Pueblo Mágico.
That's right. It is.
Yeah.
And Todos Santos, it's where it's at. And our friend Alvaro is the realtor that you need to see if you're wanting to find real estate here, or whether it's land to build a house on or a house that's already finished. He can help you with that. Alvaro, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Gene. It was really good to meet you, and thank you for coming to the open house last week.
Sure. We enjoyed that.
That was great. So really good to meet you and Renee and Jenny. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks. His contact information is down there in the description section. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the houses that we looked at today. And don't forget, we have a second channel called Take a Breath. Go over there. There'll be in the description section a link to that. Go check it out.